morning, class 9. Today we are here to read about The Happy Prince. It is one of your chapter in book moments. I have written some of the important notes that you will find easy after reading it and to understand the chapter. This chapter is written by Oscar Wilde. He is one of the best writer of his time, and his stories were totally dependent on the true nature and the and how a man should behave. This story is about a statue. This story is about a statue of Happy Prince. This statue name was of Happy Prince. Happy Prince. Once upon a time, in that kingdom, Happy Prince used to rule, and it was believed that at that time nobody suffered from poverty, nobody suffered from any kind of hunger. All lived happily in the kingdom of Happy Prince. After when the Happy Prince died, the people of the town made a statue of Happy Prince. They made a very beautiful statue, and the statue was named Happy Prince. It was at the center of the town, and it was covered with gold leaves. Means the clothes of the Happy Prince was made up of gold leaves, and it also consists of fine jewels, just like the short contains where eyes of different jewels were there on the body parts of the statue. One day, swallow the bird who wishes to go to Egypt, means is all the members, is all people of the swallow went to Egypt because the place was getting cold and they do not like the cold temperature. So the swallow was on the way to Egypt. Suddenly one day swallow the bird seeks shelter, means reached that kingdom of the Happy Prince, and he did not have any shelter. So he seeks shelter under the statue and discovered and when he was under the statue, some drops of water came and fall onto him. This made him thought that it was raining, but it was not raining. These drops were coming from the eyes of the Happy Prince. These were the tears. The bird became, after finding that the prince was not happy, bird started talking to the Happy Prince and became friendly with the Happy Prince and tries to make him happy. And he tries to make him happy by assisting him in his desire to ease the suffering of others. He finds it very good to help other people living in his kingdom, and it is a noble thing that he is doing there. So he kindly accepted the offer of Happy Prince that you work for me, you work for the sufferings of the people, and you just put up one jewel from my body and give and send them to the poor. Okay. After that, he became a messenger of Happy Prince and agreed to remove the fine golds and jewels from his statue to distribute them among the poor and the needy. This is a noble thing. Happy Prince, after time also, Happy Prince wanted to help the poor and the needy of his kingdom. He plucked ruby, means who he is the swallow. Swallow plucked ruby from the prince sword and gave it to the streamers who used to stitch clothes for the maid of the princess maid used to wear the clothes made up by seamstress, and the hands of the seamstress were red because of the because of the needle used to put up in her head. Who had now the stringness had a child, and child was suffering from fever. Now she did not have any money to help his child and to get him some fruits to eat. This was a very pitiful situation. So Prince ordered the swallow to just take his ruby from the sword and just feed, means go and give it to Strimstress, and the money she will use for feeding his means for feeding his child, and she will be happy. Then after this incident, the second incident was that again, Sparrow was ordered by the Happy Prince to pluck his spear from one of the eyes of the statue and give it to the playwright. Playwright who used to write stories for the play. Playwright. He was also very poor, and he did not have any wood to light the fire in the winter. Means it is very winter. It is very cold there, and he did not have any wood so that he can make fire and can protect him from the winter. To continue his writing, he was also very hungry and feeling weak. Means that writer was also very hungry and feeling weak. He did not have money to buy food. These critical conditions were there in the kingdom of Happy Prince, and so Happy Prince ordered the sparrow to pluck one of his eyes and just give it to the playwright. One day, the another incident. Happy Prince saw a match girl. Match girl means matchsticks. She was selling matchsticks, matchboxes, and suddenly the matchbox fell into the gutter. Now that girl was very scared. What her father will do to her. He will be beaten by her father. Father is very cruel. Means father will not leave that girl. So immediately, Happy Prince commanded the swallow to pluck out his other eyes, means the second eyes, and help that girl. And first of all, Sparrow was not ready to do it, but after insistence of that Happy Prince, he agreed to the work. The little girl was helped. The little bird. After that incident, little bird decided not to leave the company of Happy Prince, who had gone blind now because he has given both the eyes to the poor. He has donated both the eyes to the poor, and now Happy Prince had gone blind and he cannot see. Now also Prince can feel the sufferings of the poor. Prince can feel now also Prince can feel the suffering of the poor. He could not see the people in his kingdom, but he can feel the sufferings. There are many more sufferings in the kingdom. So he instructed the bird to take off the fine gold he was covered with and give it to the poor. One leaf to the poor in his kingdom, so that they can be happy. They can satisfy their grief. Means they can satisfy their hunger and everything. So once again, bird followed the order of the Happy Prince, and he followed the order of the Happy Prince. After that, eventually he grew weak. Means eventually the place was started to become cold, and means that sparrow became weak and died from exposure and exhaustion. Means he was very tired, and the exposure to the winter weather, the bird died one day. This sad incident happened, and it was the fact that leaden heart. This was the fact that leaden heart that had snapped right in two. Means that Happy Prince heart, which is made up of lead, strapped into two pieces, and loss at the loss of the sweet and kind swallow, because she was, it means that swallow was helping him, and now the swallow was dead. So this turned the leaden heart break into two pieces. The town councillor, when reached there, he saw that the statue was became very old and he has nothing on it. He ordered to melt it down and re means again build up a new statue. So the town councillor took the statue with him in the furnace and melted the statue, and but the leaden heart, the heart which was made up of leaden, did not melt. Did not melt. This was the great thing. The leaden heart did not melt. He, after melting everything, he threw the, means the people working there in the furnace threw the broken heart into dust heap. Threw the broken heart into dust heap. And after seeing all this, when God asked his angels to bring the two most precious things in the city, then the angel brought leaden heart and the dead bird. Leaden heart and the dead bird. Both were welcomed at the heaven, and the God allowed them to live in the heaven, and after that they lived happily in the heaven. This is the story, means if you will do noble work, if you will help the poor, then you will be helped by the God. Means God who help those who help the poor. This is the moral of the story. I think you will read and you can easily understand this chapter. This is the short summary of this chapter also.